What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, I'm showing you guys the teams that I used in order to take down both the 20 stamina difficulties of the 20th anniversary Straw Hats for the Luffy Island and for the Zora Island. So for those of you who are relatively new players, these islands were actually available once before on One Piece Treasure Cruise Global and JP, and they have re-returned them as islands that we can go ahead and beat, and when we do beat them, we get given some reasonable rewards. The rewards are nowhere near as good as they were on their first release. But anyways, I want to get into this video breaking down each of these stages so you guys know what to expect heading into this dungeon. So here we have on stage 4 of the Luffy Island, we have the Usopp. Now Usopp on stage 4 will preemptively have 99 turns of delay immunity, changes all of your orbs into block orbs, and also deal 3000 damage to your team. He actually has just over 3 million HP, and he is surrounded by a bunch of those female mob characters, and when they do actually go ahead and get a chance to attack, they spare you for 10 turns each. So it is highly suggested to try and take them down on turn 1, otherwise you're going to be dealt with some pretty heavy despair. As for the team that I'm using here, you can see I'm using a Capone team. I really wanted to go ahead and use a V2 Katakuri team for this one, but the thing is that on one of these stages, you cannot actually use Psy unit special ability, so that's kind of a hindrance to Katakuri as a whole. But anyways, after you defeat Usopp on stage 5, you'll have these lizards and the dinosaurs here. Make sure you kill the lizard before he attacks, otherwise he's going to poison you. And then on stage 6, we have Robin. Now, Robin has just over 4 million HP, and she's going to go ahead and apply 99 turns of a delay immunity, changes all of your orbs into tandem orbs, and then lock your orbs for 2 turns as well, and then also deal 1000 damage. The thing about the Robin is that when you actually kill Robin, she does 7000 damage to your team, so make sure that you do have enough HP to actually tank that. And this is where Big Father of Capone actually comes in pretty clutch, because you can actually go ahead and use Big Father quite early on in the dungeon, and then you can actually take that time to then heal back your HP. Essentially, you're just basically tanking damage for free, which is one of the great things about Big Father. Also, something to note about him as well is that for some reason, if you are poisoned whatsoever, the Big Father actually takes poison damage as well, which is just absolutely crazy. But obviously, you don't want to be poisoned at all. But anyways, once you clear off Robin, as I said, she does 7000 damage to your team. Stage 7 is just filled with mob characters once again. When the Blue Gory character gets a chance to attack you, he turns all of your orbs into badly matching orbs, which is fine. It's not really too bad, but I'm not really 100% sure how much he hits for. But I just suggest to try and delay that stage to get through it much easier. On stage 8, we are here with Frankie, and Frankie has 2.75 million health, and his preemptive attack, once again, like all the other bosses here, he has delay immunity. He's going to cut your health by 30%, as well as putting up a 35 hit combo barrier, and also he has defense up as well, and that defense up is humongous. You pretty much cannot break through the defense with regular attacks, so the only real way to go ahead and get around this is use characters like Int Rare Recruit Peckham's to remove his defense buff, or like what a lot of people will opt to do is to use Magellan's Poison to help you clear this dungeon. Now, obviously, you can use Raid Magellan here as well. It's just significantly slower, and it is highly suggested to clear him out as quick as possible, because he actually hits for like a lot of damage, and below 50%, he actually enrages, so he's going to attack every single turn under 50%. So you just want to make sure you can take him down as quick as possible. So Legend Magellan's going to help you out here. If you don't have him, you still can use Raid Magellan, but it's a lot more difficult, I would definitely say. And also another reason why Legend Magellan is the better unit here is because of the fact that he does give you HP recovery, which is very nice, especially for Capone, where after using that Big Father effect, you want to try and get back as much HP as possible, and Legend Magellan just provides that in every way, shape, and form. So once you have dealt with Frankie, you guys will have to move on to stage 9, which is going to have the Basilisk and also some Manticores. I'm not 100% sure what the Manticores do, but the Basilisk does have a preemptive attack that will go ahead and special bind any units on your crew that are Sai units for 99 turns. And this is where I was saying that, you know, Legend Katakuri kind of gets useless here because you can't use his special ability. And now moving on to the final stage against Luffy, who has just under 5 million health. It's around 4.7, 4.8 million health. He has a lot of attack power when he attacks you, so, you know, you want to try and kill him as fast as possible. But his preemptive attack will go ahead and apply, once again, delay immunity for 99 turns. He randomly changes your orbs around and also cuts your health in half. When Luffy gets below 20%, he does over 50,000 damage to your team, so you just want to kill him when he's above 20%. You do not want to get him below 20%. And then when you do end up killing the Luffy, he will revive with half of his HP, and he'll once again randomly change your orbs around, and he increases his attack power by a lot, by 99 turns. So you have to try and take down 1.5 of his health bars, so multi-turn boosts are going to be your best friend here against the Luffy fight. But now that we've taken down the Luffy fight, I'll see you guys against the Zora Island. And now we can move on to the Zoro dungeon. So just comparing the Luffy and the Zora Island, I personally do think that the Zora Island is much more difficult. There are a lot more debuffs that you have to get around in comparison to the Luffy Island. With the Luffy Island, you can kind of just brute force it, and the only real annoying stage in the Luffy Island is the Frankie stage, because you pretty much have to bring a unit to get around that defense. But for the Zora Island, it's really annoying because you do need threshold removal, you need paralysis reduction, you need despair reduction, and you also need to provide as much damage as possible. So it is kind of annoying. But anyways, talking about this dungeon here, you guys saw here on stage 3, the cowboy actually does poison you when you kill him. There's no way to get around it. Like, you have to tank the poison in some way. So having a unit that can remove the poison here, or like what I did, I attached the support Ivankov to the Luffy character as my captain, and that allows you to get rid of the poison. So if you have that into Ivankov, I would suggest using support medals on him, because he's just so good, allowing you to remove the poison, allowing you to free up more space on your crew, as you don't need to bring a dedicated unit to remove that poison. You can just attach it to a Luffy character, which is so good. Moving on though to stage 4 is Brook. Brook has 2.2 million health, and his preemptive attack will apply again 99 turns of delay immunity, and also changes all of your orbs randomly, which can include empty and bomb orbs as well. And he does have a barrier, a Sai hit barrier, which again just is why this dungeon is way more annoying, because there's so many more things to get around. So you need to make sure you have a Sai orb in order to deal damage here, or if you have units that have barrier penetration, are also going to be quite good here against stage 4 Brook. Once Brook is taken care of, you'll have more enemies to go ahead and stall on if you do wish. You can go ahead and bring a delayer and try and get around them if you do really want to do that. But then after stage 5, you will encounter 3 bosses in a row with no breaks in between. So stage 6 is going to be Chopper, who has 2.7 million health, and his preemptive attack will have a delay immunity like all the bosses. He'll actually go ahead and double the enemy's attack by 2 times for 3 turns, and also for 3 turns have a damage limiter. So this is where having a unit to remove the damage limiter, or the threshold, whatever you want to call it, is going to be good here. And also when Chopper falls below 50%, he will fully recover his health. I believe he only does that once though, so that you won't really have to worry about that too much. But definitely the big thing here is to bring someone to remove that threshold, and then also someone to reduce damage if you have to tank a hit, is going to be good, because all the enemies on that stage just hit really hard. And then we move on to stage 7, which is going to be Nami. Nami has 2.5-ish million health, and she again also has delay immunity. She'll despair both of your captains for 4 turns. She'll go ahead and have a Dex Orb barrier. Also will paralyze your whole crew for a turn, and the left bottom unit on your team will be blown away for 1 turn. Now, Nami actually repeats the paralyze and the blowing away of the bottom left unit every 2 turns. She'll continuously paralyze for 1 turn and blow away a unit for 1 turn. So you typically want to try and have units that can get around that. Having a sailor ability on your team that can just reduce your crew's paralysis by 1 turn is going to be so useful. It just means that you don't have to worry about having multiple turns of paralysis. So either having the switch effect of White Beater Marker, as I have in this team, or having the sailor ability of Legend Corazon to get around that is just really, really good. But that Dex Orb barrier is what makes the stage really annoying, because you do have to deal with that. And also, Nami hits relatively hard, and she does hit every single turn. So you got to make sure that you can at least get a Dex Orb and then try and kill Nami. And as I said, there are 3 bosses in a row. So there's Chopper, there's Nami, and then you'll have to face Sanji on stage 8 after you've taken down the previous 2 bosses. So once you have finally taken down Nami, you can move on to Sanji on stage 8, who has 3.2 million health, and Sanji hits really hard. He hits for over 20,000 damage, but the saving grace here is that he only hits every 3 turns. So if you can take him down within the first 3 turns, that's going to go a long way in allowing you to beat this dungeon a lot easier. And also, as a preemptive attack, Sanji will go ahead and have a delay immunity, again like all the other bosses here, for 99 turns, and also will have a 99 turn recovery buff. So at the end of each turn, he recovers 5 million health. So you have to kill him in 1 turn. You have to deal over 3.2 million damage in 1 turn in order to take him down. Now, the great thing about, these islands coming out now is the fact that we do have a lot of legends and a lot of other rare recruits and a lot of free-to-play characters that have released since their first release of this island. So it's going to make, this island a cakewalk compared to when they first came out, that's for sure. After Sanji's taken care of, you'll move on to stage 9, which is the Dragon. He has 1.5 million health, and on the second turn, he's going to change all your orbs into meat, which is a good opportunity to go ahead and get some health back against the Dragon. But then you're going to be moving on to Zoro. So Zoro has 5.5 million health. He has an attack power of 11,000. He has a preemptive attack of delay immunity for 99 turns. He despairs both of your captains for 4 turns. He paralyzes your crew for a turn. He will give you recovery bind for 14 turns, he cuts your health by 30%, and he has a damage limiter. So the main things here is you need to have a way to get rid of paralysis, despair, and damage limiter. Those are the 3 ones you have to make sure that you have. And the thing is do not use an attack boosting special ability on this stage, because if you do, he removes your beneficial effects and he does really, really bad things. So you can't use an attack boost on the final stage. The way to get around that, though, is to use a character like Lucy or even 20th Anniversary Zora himself to use an attack boost that you can carry into this final boss stage, and that's why the Dragon on stage 9 has a lot of HP, so it can allow you to do that. Also, when you actually kill off Zoro, another very important thing here is that he actually does death damage. He does 45,000 death damage, and he also will attack you on top of the death damage as well. So I think it totals up to over 50,000 damage that he does when you actually kill Zoro. So having a way to reduce that damage is going to be quite key, especially because he does give you that health cut as well. He does despair you upon entering the room. So it's really annoying because you're going to have a lot less health, and you can't even really recover either because of the recovery bind he puts on your team. But that's it, guys. That's the full rundown of the teams that I use for the 20th Anniversary Straw Hat Islands. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys did, make sure to smack the like button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and hit the bell notification so you can be notified whenever I upload a brand new YouTube video. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.